So the NBA All-Star Game, it has came and it has gone, right? It is now over. I actually enjoyed the weekend in totality. However, we need to talk about the actual All-Star Game for just a moment, because it is a shell of itself. And quite frankly, it is boring, and I don't think a lot of fans really enjoyed the game itself. Now, the weekend was great. It was good, entertaining. Pretty much every event except for the game itself. Maybe if you want to throw in the slam dunk contest, every event besides the game itself was entertaining, and I thoroughly did enjoy it. But the game itself is a shell of itself, right? The NBA All-Star Game, it used to mean something, right? It used to be a collection of the league's elite talent playing against one another. And although, yes, it wasn't the same intensity as a playoff game, as the Game 7, it was still relatively a competitive game, especially during the fourth quarter and in some overtimes. Some All-Star games overtime, right? We have seen teams go at it. We have seen people lock down and play defense. But right now, it is a defense optional, effort lacking exhibition. That is all it is. So for the first time ever, we've seen 200 points scored in the All-Star Game. Teams on either side, East and West, did not care at all about playing defense. And their lack of effort, at least transpired to the audience, was a lack of interest, right? Because them not trying made me kind of look at my phone more during the game, talk to everybody else in the room. I didn't pay as close attention to this game as I would even a regular season game. And this is a collection of NBA All-Stars, right? This should be something that I'm watching and paying attention. I paid way more attention to the three-point shootout than I did the All-Star Game itself. And that's not good, because now the NBA All-Star Game is somewhat of a joke in the NBA, and that is something that the NBA wants to change. And you see them, trying different things to change it, but how can we get it back to where it's entertaining, where people want to watch, fans want to watch, and you are sitting at the edge of your seat, at least saying these are, the best players the NBA has to offer, and we are seeing something representative, at least, to actual NBA games. Because right now, players walking up and down the court, shooting from half court, like, that's cool every now and then, but that's all we're seeing. Fast breaks, allowing anybody to go into the paint. That is it. That's all we are seeing currently. So that is the money question, right? Is how can you change the All-Star Game to make it enticing? And speaking of money question, that is going to be the main solution that you're going to see around media outlets, right? You just pay the players money. Now, we have seen this, right, when it comes to the in-season tournament. They have the incentive of the winning team gets $500,000 per player. The losing team, the runner-up, gets $300,000 per player. Now, this in-season tournament, we did see teams and players buy into it and compete. Is that going to translate when it comes to, LeBron, Steph, Giannis, Curry, who are already making $50 million plus? Does an extra $500,000 incentivize them like it did in the in-season tournament? Maybe it does. We do know it is a pay-to-play era, so maybe that is the answer right there. But I'm not quite sure that is the only answer to the question. So when you look at what other ways can we go about this to make it more interesting, I'm not really sure. And that is what makes it so frustrating, right? Because there's no clear-cut answer as to how could we improve this event. Now, when you look around at other leagues, the NFL's Pro Bowl also, shell of itself, is not that entertaining to watch. But when you look at the NHL or you look at the MLB, they have an alternative solution to the problem. Now, will this work in the NBA? I don't know. But what they do is implement some type of home court advantage to the winner. So say the Eastern All-Stars, who won last night, they won the All-Star Game. Whoever is representing the East in the NBA Finals, regardless of regular season record, they will get home field advantage or home court advantage when it comes to the NBA Finals. Now, some people will say that eliminates, playing the regular season games. I could see that counter, but you still get home court throughout the playoffs. And then, of course, if you won the All-Star Game, it meant something to your chances of potentially winning an NBA championship. Now, that's not going to affect every player as well. That's not going to motivate every player, because some players, we know their teams are not going anywhere near the NBA finals, right? But that is a start. That is a start as to something that could be used to kind of spruce up and spice up the All-Star game just a tad, where maybe there's a little bit more effort shown, because that is what fans want. Yes, like I said, they're not looking for every possession to be an all-out possession, because we do know players are trying to avoid injuries, right? We do know this is technically their break, right? So we're not looking for that type of effort, but we are looking for effort. And I think it was Kobe Bryant that said in the video before, we see more effort in pickup games at UCLA than we do the All-Star game in front of millions and millions of fans around the world, right? So it is not in a good state. How does the NBA go about fixing it? I don't know. I truly don't. Those are pretty much my suggestions as to what I think could be potentially, a fix to the problem. But at the end of the day, the players are going to have to want it. How you incentivize them to do that is definitely the question. But right now we have players and teams breaking records really not holding the same weight in the All-Star game anymore, because now nobody is trying in the All-Star game. So how do I, categorize Cat's 50-point performance last night compared to other great performances in the All-Star game of, years past and decades past, right? It's tough because nobody tried. Nobody tried. So it's hard to really give a accurate assessment of what we seen yesterday. So we'll see what happens. But as a whole, All-Star game, it was boring. All-Star weekend though, pretty entertaining, and I like what they did there. And I do think we will see changes again to the NBA All-Star game format. I do like the East versus West. I'm not mad at that at all. But there needs to be something done to improve this All-Star game experience. So those are just my quick random thoughts about the All-Star game itself and how you could potentially fix it. But I would love to hear from you guys. What are your guys' idea? First and foremost, did you enjoy the All-Star game? Maybe I'm different. Maybe you enjoyed it. If you did, man, let me know. If you have thoughts on how the NBA could actually fix this issue, also sound off in the comment section below. But as usual, hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, please do me a favor, go ahead and leave this video a like. It helps me out a lot. And subscribe if you haven't already. It's DLloyd. I'm see y'all next time. Peace.